Hello and welcome to Junk Journal Inspirations. My name is Emily. I am finally back with the next video in my junk mail envelope journal little tutorial, or it's more of a craft with me. I'm sure that there are tons and tons of videos of different ways of doing this. This is just the way that I did it. And we are going to finally start putting it together. But before we do that, I just wanted to address a question that I had, and I wanted to make sure that everybody was good with the size that I cut my papers for the front and the back cover. So I'm just going to go over that again real quickly. This is the front cover, okay, and it is I left it at 12 inches wide, okay, and then the height, I'm just going to turn it this way so you can see, is 10 inches, okay, so I cut a piece that was 12 by 10, or 10 by 12, however you want to look at it, 10 high, 12 wide, okay, and then I scored it at 6.5 inches, okay, so this part here will actually be the cover, okay, and then this piece is going to go inside my large envelope, which is here, okay, so I needed to trim the top and the bottom so that this would sit evenly in the middle. So I think I took off, it's going to depend on your particular envelope. So, sorry, I lost my train of thought. So depending on how tall your largest envelope is, mine happens to be 9 3/4. So I took off whatever that works out to be. It was 10 high, so I took off 1/4 inch about approximately from the top and the bottom. And I just cut to that score line, okay? And then, so that's the front cover. And then the question was actually about the back cover, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody was okay with the measurements. So the back cover is, again, 10 inches tall, okay? And it is 7.5 inches wide. And then you put it on your scoreboard, right? And you want to score at 6.5 is your first score line, because this part is going to be our back cover and we need that to be 6.5 inches wide based on the size of my envelopes. And then score again, so 6.5, and then again it's 7, and that creates your 1/2 inch spine and a 1/2 inch flap that will get glued to the front of the front cover, and we'll do that a little bit later on. But I just wanted to make sure that everybody had the measurements down. Feel free to ask if there are any questions, or if you're unsure of anything. You can contact me in many ways. Commenting here is fine if you'd rather email me, or on Etsy or Facebook, or wherever you can find me. Just send me a message and I'll try and help you out. All right, I'm going to put the back cover aside for now, because we are not going to work on that today. Today we are just going to put together all of our envelopes here, and we're going to attach them to the front cover. So let me first, I didn't do this yet because I just wanted to, not really talk about it, but just tell you what I was going to do. I'm going to go ahead and round my corners. I think I'll do the medium size, whatever that is. There we go. Oops. There we go. Okay, and then I will go ahead and ink up my front cover so it's all ready to go, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I didn't bother to put any ink on the score, the fold here, because that is going to get covered, so it's not really necessary. And for my purposes, I didn't need to add any ink to this piece either, because when it goes inside, you're not going to see the edges. All right, so that's all inked up, corners rounded. We'll set that aside for a moment, and let's go ahead and start putting together our envelopes. Now, this is going to be sort of a personal preference kind of thing. or just, you know, however you really want to do it. So this, what I'm doing may not fit with the envelopes that you've chosen or the way you want to do it. You might not like the way I do it. But this is just kind of a, you know, showing you some ideas, giving you some inspiration. That's my biggest goal, is to just show people a way to do it. It's a way. There are so many ways. So don't feel like if you don't have the size envelopes that I've used, it's fine. You can use any size. You can use any type that you have. You can make your own out of scrapbook paper. There are so many possibilities. So don't feel like you can't follow along or make this just because you don't have the right size envelopes. It doesn't matter. All right, so I've got my large envelope, and if you remember, I already cut the top open, so it'll be a top loading pocket, and I've decorated it and everything's ready to go. So I'm gonna build on this. All of my other envelopes are going to go attached to this, either to this front section or this back section here, okay? And you'll kind of see as we go. We'll do the front first. So this is just the way that I want to have it set up. I want this to attach so that it will, you know, sit here nicely, and my little flippy clip thing will hold it in place. So I just want to make sure that I glue that, you know, right there, basically. So I'm going to just use my Bearly Art Glue. And I apologize for the Band-Aid. I know that's not the most attractive thing to look at, but sometimes it's necessary. All right. Oh, and I just wanted to point out, I have added washi tape and glue, I think, to every flap, either on the outside or like this one's on the inside. It's not probably necessary. I just do it so that, because these flaps are going to be, you know, this is going to be opened and closed and opened and closed, right? A lot. I just want to make sure that it lasts. It might not matter. But if you have washi tape and, you know, you want to just, you know, add some glue and just run it down right where, you know, the fold of the flap is, either on the inside or the outside. You don't have to do both. I don't think that's necessary at all, but that's up to you. I just wanted to share that. I think I've done it on every envelope, maybe not every single one, but most of them. All right, so let's start gluing. So we want this here. So I'm just gonna add glue right to the edge here. And all over, okay? And then because this is open, it's so easy to just figure out where you want it and plop it down. And I want to kind of center it there on with the little flippy clip, right? And I can actually just go ahead and clip that down, and it'll help hold it in place so it doesn't move while the glue is drying. And see, so you have your flap on the inside here. All right, I am gonna just double check that I'm not gluing it down to, you know, so that it can't open. That would be bad. All right, so that's the first one. And you do wanna make sure that you don't have like a whole lot of glue seepage here, or it'll interfere, but it should be fine. Okay, I'm just gonna leave that open for a second, just let it flap a little bit. Okay, and then my next one, let's see if I can remember. I want it to go like this so that the window is on top of this one. So this one goes next. Same thing, you just wanna make sure, I think I had to cut one of my flaps. I just made sure that none of them were gonna show through the window when you glue them on. So just double check that in case, you know, any of them are super long or anything. I had to cut I think I had to cut one that I thought I was going to put on the front here, and then I ended up putting it on the back. It's going to go on the back anyway, so I really didn't need to cut it, but it doesn't matter. And if I didn't say already, this is a fabulous sort of scrap busting project. If you have, like me, a huge bin or more than one huge bin, in my case, of scraps, this is great. If you like to collage, you can use up a bunch of what you might have laying around. That's what I do. Like I said, I have a few bins, but I do have a box, the lovely llama box that my friend Tommy gave me. Hi, Tommy. I put all of my like smaller scraps in there that I want to, that I'll use for collage. And then as that box kind of empties out, I add to it from my huge mega bin of scraps. All right. So I think that's good. And you just want to make sure that it's going to open and close properly. Luckily, the Bearly Art Glue, you have some wiggle room before it sticks totally permanently, right? I think I like that better. The Art Glitter Glue is great, and they're pretty much the same, but the Art Glitter Glue really does stick right away, and you don't really have a lot of room. You could use Fabri-Tac or any glue for this, really. It's not, it doesn't really matter. I just definitely like one that doesn't, that isn't gonna stick so quickly that I don't have a chance. There's a little bit of a gap here. I'm just gonna add some more glue, make sure. All right, I think that's good. And then my window envelope is going to go here, or my little mini CD envelope. All right, so yes, this is basically just, your preference on how you want them to be stacked. I like to stagger them. It also helps with the bulkiness of the finished product if you, kind of stagger them a little bit. But if you're using all the same size, it really is whatever you like, whatever makes you happy, right? As long as you like how it looks. I hope I was in frame. I'm also just making sure that I'm not gluing the whole thing shut. That would be sort of a pain in the butt. All right, got glue everywhere. Okay. Whoops. Must not have glued that down very well. Huh. You know what? I bet it doesn't want to stick. I've got a little piece of like waxy paper there, and it's almost like it doesn't want to stick to that. Maybe the Fabri-Tac will help. I think I probably just used I may have just used glue stick. That wasn't very wise of me for that. There we go. That should be fine now. Just make sure everything is okay over here. Okay, so that's the front. And what I will do, this will hold that down. All right, so the front is finished. And now we will turn it over to the back. And now we're going to, see, these were all on the front. These are all going to go on this side. Okay, so again, I have them sort of set up the way that I want. So I know I want this one here, and I want this one here, and then this one is going to go over the whole thing there. Okay, so this one needs to go on first. Honestly, I don't need this much of a flap to attach, so I'll probably cut off a little bit of it. It's just not needed. Okay. Oh, and make sure that you're attaching everything upright. The way you want it. Look before you glue. I've done that before, put things on upside down. All right, that one is good to go there. Okay, and then this one is going to go up here like that. So let's go ahead and do that one. Okay, sorry, I got really quiet there, didn't I? Oh, update on Pixie. Her, she went to the vet and her foot is going to be fine. She just got a little cut and it was actually already healing very nicely. So she's still in the cone, which she hates, but it is going to be all right. So thank you everyone who sent well wishes for her. She's doing good, just, you know, not enjoying the cone. All right. You also want to make sure when you're overlapping that you don't glue, you know, don't accidentally glue like this section down. So just make sure everything is opening and closing nicely. All right. I think that's good. And then this one, I already cut this flap. This was the one I thought I was going to put on the front and then changed my mind. So yeah, Pixie's good. We have like a ton of snow here and the dogs are loving it. Not me, not so much. Not my favorite thing. I have to go out later and I'm hoping that the roads are okay by then. I don't really like dealing with the snow. It's pretty to look at. I think it's beautiful, but I don't want to have to deal with it. Okay, so this one, I'm just going to try and do sort of right in the center-ish as much as I can. All right. When you start, you know, adding these on top of each other, you are gonna, you know, there's gonna be a little bit of a gap, you know. It's okay. It doesn't seem to matter. or make a difference in the finished product, but it just, you know, you've got a lot of bulk going on there. All right. So again, just make sure that nothing is getting glued completely shut or anything like that. I need a little bit more glue in here. All right, I'll hold that for a second. Okay. Oh, and I just wanted a quick apology. This morning I uploaded my goodie bag swap video. And it was pointed out that on one of the belly bands that I show in the video, there is a bit of a bad word. I apologize for that. I'm sure that Jovi didn't notice and I didn't notice. And I can't go back and edit it and redo the video at this point. So I do apologize. Yeah, it was not intentional on either of our parts. It's just one of those things when you're using book pages. Sometimes the bad words are there and you just don't notice. So yeah, apologies for that. If you've watched that video or if you are going to watch that video, just so you know. All right. So once you have everything glued where you want it, right? Now we can attach our front cover. So in my case, I'm going to glue this to the back of my big envelope. I'm going to put glue on this side so that it attaches here. That way, when I slide something into this pocket, you will see it. I don't have anything here, but I'll demonstrate with a ruler. So you'll see whatever's in there. Now, if you want to do it the other way, actually the one that I did for the swap, I did accidentally glue it the wrong way. So then you just always have the image here, and you won't see what's in the pocket. Either way is fine. Before we do that, I want to find something to hold all of my envelopes like sort of out of my way. So I've got these ginormous paper clips. I think they'll do the job just as a temporary hold, just so everything's not flopping around while I'm trying to do this. Basically, maybe I don't want to do it there though. Let me see. If I just hold them, trying to decide the best way to do this. Maybe if I just hold them like that, and the same here. If I just hold them to each other, it might be good enough for now. All right, there we go. Okay, that'll sort of keep them from flopping too much anyway. All right, so I want to make sure that I cut this. I don't want it, see how it's currently showing up at the top, my piece of paper right here. I don't want that. So I'm going to cut a little bit more off the top. I'm just going to go down. It doesn't matter as long as, well, honestly, you don't have to do it this way at all. The one I did for the swap is actually, I still attached the front cover, right? But I didn't leave as much. I only left like maybe an inch and a half to attach it. And then I put something else into the window envelope, if that makes sense. But I thought this would be an easy way to sort of demonstrate how you could use just one sheet of paper for this. Okay, so see, now you don't see the paper. It's far enough down there that you won't see it. Okay, so I want to put glue only on this part here, okay? And I think for this, I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac, or I think this is the Magna-Tac, which if I haven't said already, seems to be exactly the same as all the others. All right, so I'm gonna glue this or add glue to this, and I'll probably cut it out. You don't need to watch me put glue on something. And then I'll be right back. All right, so that is all glued up. Now I'm gonna very carefully slide it in here, and I want to get it all the way to the bottom when I do this. Hopefully. All right. It's a little fiddly, but it's so much easier because the envelope is open. All right, so once you have it in there, just make sure that everything lines up okay. You know, that your envelopes are within your cover, so they don't stick out, unless you want it to do that. That's totally fine too. I want to make sure that I'm not completely gluing this down yet. All right, let's give that a second. Just make sure everything closes up. Don't worry about this edge because that is going to be covered up completely, your spine here. So don't worry about that. Just make sure everything else is okay. All right. Just want to flip that way. There we go. That helps. So I can make sure it's good and pressed down. Now, I've got this little bit here, right? And I want to make sure that that doesn't prevent things from sliding in. So I'm just going to add a little bit of packing tape. That's probably way too much. Yes. And that will just keep that edge of, paper from catching on things, but make sure that you don't put it too high so it doesn't show through your little thumb hole here. So I'll show you here in a second. It's kind of hard to show you what I mean. All right. So do you see the packing tape here? Let me see if I can, there we go. I just right over the edge, that way it doesn't show through my thumb hole here. All right, let me take these paper clips off because I think they might just be getting in my way at this point. Make sure I'm not catching on anything. All right, so now we have our front cover and all of our envelopes, and what we need to do, we don't want this flapping open, right? So we want to glue just along the edge, and we're gonna glue this together, okay? So it's all one piece, and you just have a top loading pocket. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So let me turn it this way, so maybe you can kind of see what I'm doing. Actually, I'm gonna add the glue along the inside of my envelope as opposed to here, because there's a little bit of a gap so that this can fold properly, right? So let me grab this. I'm actually gonna flip it over. So I apologize, it might be a little difficult to see, but I'm just adding glue right along this edge here. Okay. So there's my line of glue, and then that will just, we will push this down and hold it for a moment or 3 and make sure that everything is sticking. So I will hold this for a minute and I'll be right back. Okay, while this is drying here, what we just did, don't close this too soon. Leave it open because you're going to have some glue here, and it will get stuck or leave a mark, or you'll have, you know, kind of a mess. I just want to make sure that my pocket is still open. Yes, good. Okay. All right. So that is the construction of the envelope part. I'll just show you here what you end up with. I just want to make sure that I don't have bits of glue in my my seam here. Seam? It's probably not the right word. Okay, so this is what you end up with. It's all one piece now. Okay, and this is the envelope section and the front cover. So we have all of our envelopes attached here, right? And I'm gonna find something to kind of hold these together. And then we have our top loading pocket here. Oh, and this is a top loader. This is a side loader. This one is also a side loader. And then we have a top loader here. And this one is a side loader. Oh, and this one I did glue this to see how you can't see what's through the window. I wanted this to show the whole time. I liked how that looked. All right, and then this is also a side loading that way. Okay, so this is all one piece. And then what we will do in the next video is we will put together the back cover section, which is going to have our journal signature in it. Okay, and once we put that together, then we will attach these two here, and we will cover the spine with fabric and lace and stuff to make it nice and secure. So yeah, we're almost done, guys. Well, then there's decorating and, you know, filling it up with fun stuff, but you know, we're almost done with the construction. I will try to have that video up possibly tomorrow, if all goes well. It went really well today. I have the dogs home because I can't drive them to daycare in the snow. And they actually slept through this whole recording. So yay. So if they can do that again for me tomorrow, I will get the next video uploaded tomorrow. I apologize for the big gap in time for getting these uploaded, but it will happen, guys. I hope you're having fun. I hope if you're following along with me, you're enjoying this. And if you're not following along and you're just watching, I hope that you have been inspired to get crafty today or do something that you love. All right, guys, I will see you soon. Take care, stay healthy. If you're in this, you know, cold part of the world, anywhere in the cold part of the world, I hope you're staying warm. All right, guys, have a fabulous day, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.